Hello, everybody. We are doing a student interview today with our client Jacob Schwendeman, and we're just going to be talking a little bit about his experience. He's experienced awesome results here in the last couple of weeks, and we're just going to be talking about your experience. So, Jacob, first question: Who are you? What did you do before joining KCA? And just share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm yeah, my name is Jake Schwindman. I'm 26 years old. I just got finished serving in the Colorado and the North Carolina Army National Guard for about 7 years. So I'm just finishing up that, and I was just looking for a transition out of the military, and I just happened honestly across. It was actually a crazy coincidence. I happened to cross KCA through Umar, and his sister-in-law is my wedding photographer in a
Yeah.
month. So
So my wife's it was funny,
yeah,
dude, because when you got on a call with was it Daniel?
I think it was Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah, when you got on a call with Daniel, Daniel sent me a message. He's like, "Yo, dude, this guy I'm about to enroll right now. Apparently, your wife's sister is shooting his wedding." And I'm like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, my fiance after we booked her, it was like a week or so after, and my fiance actually sent like one of your Instagram stories to me
Uh-huh.
and was like, "Look at this. This is our wedding photographer's like brother-in-law."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I didn't like really it like didn't like register anything to me at first, but I like finally I went back. I like saw your story, I read it, and talking about like Christian men and trying to, make more income as well as like have less time like buried in work. And I read it and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's interesting." And then I went away, and then a couple days it just like came back into my mind, and I was like, "I should check that out." And so I went back to like your Instagram
Yeah.
and looked into it, and then got in touch, and then yeah, so just I was looking for something. I wanted like I said, I'm about to get married in a month ish, and I was just looking for something. I started working for a company installing security systems, but I was just looking for something more stable, and I want to be able to provide for my future family in a way where I can be around, as well as like give my wife the opportunity to stay at home and either do things that she loves, like she's getting her Pilates instructor license now, and she loves doing that. So I want to afford her the opportunity to do things that she loves and not like be required to work, so that like
Yeah.
when it comes time she can be a stay-at-home mom or wife or whatever, and whatever she wants to do. And I want to be able to provide and do that in a way where I'm still around, and around for my family, around for my wife. And yeah, so
Yeah, dude. Be a stay-at-home wife slash mom and just raise babies and have fun.
exactly.
Give her the
Exactly.
dream.
And like the remote, like I was looking for the remote too, to be
Yeah.
honest, because we have access to like a place in Florida, and
Mhm.
we love going to the beach and stuff. So I mean, to the dream is to like be able to pick up and go to Florida for like a couple weeks or stuff, and not have to worry about, like, I can just take my work with me and
Yeah.
still be making money wherever I go, so
Yeah, dude.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is honestly the dream. And then here now I'm about to start living that out. So
About to start living it. Yeah, dude.
yeah,
So you were in the National Guard for
yeah,
7 years?
yeah. I'm finishing up 7 years. Yeah,
Okay, so finishing up seven
December.
years. And
Mhm.
then when you I don't know exactly how it works. So like were
Yeah.
you gone for 7 years or were you just working
No,
out of your home and
I
you
was. Yeah, I was working. I worked at home. I lived as like a normal person, but I worked. My full-time job was working on helicopters. I was a
okay,
mechanic
got
for
it. Yeah.
helicopters.
And so like recently you started working as a security
Yeah.
installer, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I install security systems, and then basically sell. My secondary role is to like sell when I show up to like an install for a client, is to like kind of sell them on more equipment or a better package or stuff like that. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
So
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
When I decided in June, I decided to that I was at the end of the year, I was going to get out of the military, out of the reserves. So I
Uh,
stopped working full time for the reserves, and I'm just like a regular reserves. I do one weekend a month right now,
uh,
and I do that until December, and then I'm done. And then so I quit the full time job with them, and that's when I got the security system job.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. So like what I mean, before you joined KCA, you're saying
Mhm.
the reason why you wanted to like pursue something different in the first place is because you said in the current role that you were in or
Mhm.
even like with the National Guard job and then also the security job that you were doing, you felt
Mhm.
like with both of those you weren't necessarily going to be able to have the flexibility that you wanted long term, which is like one is the income flexibility or the income freedom or financial freedom essentially is what they'll call it, to be able to like be the solo provider for the family,
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
give your future wife the ability to just stay at home if she wanted to.
Yeah, more or less. That's I quit the I decided to get out of the military just because it is a pretty big commitment, man, a commitment that I've made for 7 years now, and I just wasn't really ready to do that going into marriage. So that's kind of like why I decided, but also it was very like it was a decent income when I was working for the military. Like it was fine, but yeah, there wasn't a lot of room to grow
Uh-huh.
in that, especially in financial freedom. And it would have been a lot tougher
Yeah.
to do that, live the lifestyle that we want with that. And then, transitioning to the security, it had a lot of potential for like a potential upside for that job, especially income. It was just the area that I live in and was working in is just the economic environment is just not good enough for that. And so that was so I kind of used that job as like a stepping stone more or less while I was doing, because I pretty much got that job and joined KCA around the same time.
At the same time.
So yeah, so the security job was kind of never a goal.
Yeah.
It was kind of more of a stepping stone.
Stepping
So
stone. Right.
while I was working on the program and getting ready for this.
Yeah. And why did you decide to join KCA specifically? Like what stuck out to you about KCA? I
Yeah.
mean,
I
besides the fact that my wife's sister was shooting your wedding.
Yeah. No, I think specifically what stuck out to me was it was a company and a program that was specifically uh designed for and marketed for Christian men. And I think that was the goal of the company, was it is to make more money. But it wasn't it's not the primary goal. The primary goal, that was when I remember first reading the advertisement, and like the last part of like your story and your advertisement was about like the money. It was like you have these goals, to either to provide for your family, to be there for your family more, and you can do that by working in this industry and accomplish these goals, and you can do that by making this amount of money. So it
Yeah.
was like it felt like money was the last thing. So when I read that and then inquired more into kind of your company, I realized like that you're pursuing and you are, trying to help men, Christian men and women, pursue a lifestyle that is helpful to them, and money is a means, not the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
So I think that was huge for me. It was like if you put in this hard work, you will make the money and you can make the money, but you're out here to attain a goal. And the goal is not money. The goal is, to provide for your family, to provide, financially and as well as like emotionally and all that stuff for your family, for your spouse, whatever it is. And then
Yeah.
you can do that by making this amount of money. I think the second thing also was the idea that we're in a service-based industry. And so we're not just out here trying to contributing to like the bad name that sales reps have. And you talk about it a lot in the program, but a lot of sales reps have they've have a bad name for themselves because they're only out to boost numbers and to get people to sign up. And it's like we're trying to work in the high ticket industry, and an industry where people, first of all, are coming to us. Well, they're coming to us with like problems and real problems in their lives. And then our job is to help those people in whatever way we can. So I think the orientation of the program is to help people. And I think I really like that coming out of the military, coming out of 7 years where I'm serving like a country, serving a state, serving people, and then transitioning out of that. I feel like a lot of veterans, lose that sense. And then they kind of just, don't know what to do because they don't have that sense of service. But I felt like I was able and am able to find a sense of service. It's not the same, but it is still a sense of service in the high ticket industry.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. And money is just like a byproduct of learning the stuff that we have here and implementing it. Like our company mission. it is not just to help people make money, but the reason why and I talk about this on some of the videos on our front end as well, but our primary company goal is to literally just help Christian men get back home,
Yeah.
specifically Christian men in sales, because as like biblically speaking, our role, specifically speaking towards the men and the husbands, is you're called to provide for the family, and also to like minister to them, because those are the first people that you should be raising,
Yeah.
according to the word, right? And so like what I've noticed is a common trend across, I mean, the last couple of years now, in this industry is like a lot of people in sales or a lot of Christian men, they will check off the box of providing, but then they'll be gone like
Hmm.
50, 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And then it's like you can check off one box, but what happens to the other box when you're called to minister to your wife and your kids as well? So it's like, how do we take someone from working 60 hours a week, making 5 grand a month,
Mhm.
to working 30 hours a week and making 10? And that way they can check off the providing box and also like discipling their family as well. Cause like
Yeah.
we're called to provide, but we're called to disciple as well. And
Yeah.
so, and and we've done that for people by helping them get into remote roles. But for you, like as you were going through the training, what did you think about everything that we're teaching inside of the program?
Yeah, I think very, very helpful. And in the program, definitely I noticed just like with myself starting, the program or starting the program and starting like the sales job, I had a certain mindset of like I've got numbers to hit, I've got, KPIs, I've got all this stuff in sales. And then starting your program, I just, realize that that you guys are teaching and you are promoting a different kind of sales. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned from the program is that we're shifting our questions and we're shifting our mindset to like how can I sell this person on this product, or how can I get this person to buy a certain product, to like how can I legitimately help this person.
Mhm.
And so I think talking about, we go over in the program, the first thing you talk about is the psychology of sales and stuff. And it's you know, the one thing that's stressed is that you're not trying to like fleece somebody, or you're not trying to like get them to buy a product. You're trying The psychology of selling is the psychology of understanding what is going through like that person's mind, and like what when they say certain things, like what does that actually mean? And so it's more of like the psychology. I felt like the psychology of selling was like understanding the psychology of people who need help.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was very like different from my perspective of a salesperson in general. It was just like in my mind, like somebody calls your phone and is like, "Hey, like this product." It's like your instinct is like, "Oh, well, this person is just gonna like try to sell me on something I don't need, and then just make money from it." And it's like now you're shifting perspective because you're gonna work in an industry where people are coming to you and they have problems. And
Yep.
so now you have to understand like what is going on in their mind. And like when they say certain things, like what does that mean? And like how do you get them to admit where they are struggling, and then listen to you who are offering them a legitimate solution. And so I thought that was because I had a little bit when I joined and stuff, I was like really excited. And then I was like, oh, the psychology of sales. And my first thought was like, oh, this might be like how do I just get somebody to buy? And
Uh-huh.
then I went through you go through the lesson and you're like, oh, it's not like that's completely different from what I thought. And
Uh-huh.
so I think that, and then obviously it goes into the different, setter, closer, all that stuff in the training, and then objections and stuff. But like it starts out and that first lesson of like the psychology of selling kind of lays the groundwork for the whole program.
Yeah.
And it's like once you watch that video, you're like, oh, this is something completely different.
Your eyes are open and you can
Yeah,
finally see.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
think like, yeah, it's just like my biggest recommendation for anybody that would have reservations is to like to listen to that first lesson. And then you're like, okay, like this is something different.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of, and then going through like, even handling objections and stuff is like, you're once again like trying to find by handling objections, you're not like necessarily trying to dismiss the objections, but you're just trying to find like the root of the problem. And because like these are real problems that these people have, and they may be legitimately like real objections that these people have. But sometimes, and you explain it very well, is that a lot of objections are like a front and just like a cover for something that's like deeper, and that they, either struggle with, are ashamed about, whatever, but it's a cover. So you're not necessarily dismissing your objection, you're just like probing it and being like, is this like a real objection, or is this like, I'm actually something else.
This
So
makes
I
me
just,
this makes me so happy to hear you saying all this because I'm like, man, you learned a lot.
yeah, no, for sure. And
Yeah.
it all starts like, you won't truly understand the program unless you like really pay attention to the psychology of selling and
Yeah.
like that first lesson. And if
Yep.
you like really, and I think you mentioned like you're like watch this video like 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
because and it's truly like you
It's
need to,
loaded, bro.
it's loaded, and it's like it's so critical to the rest of the program.
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand like the framework and the mindset of like what you're doing, then like the other stuff like won't really work.
Yeah, man.
It,
So my next question for you is like, what kind of results have you seen since joining KCA? Like from where you started to like the
yeah.
recent win that you just got.
Yeah, I think man, I think just being a little more perceptive of like, honestly, just in life, to be completely honest, like with people, after like going through the program and learning about like asking questions. Like I remember going through doing a mock call. I think I did a mock call on like one of our group meetings. And I remember like going through it, and I remember at one point you like paused me and you're like, stop. And you're like, he just said this, and you're like, what do you say in response? And I was like, oh, I can say this and this. And you're like, and you kind of guided me to asking the right question. And it was like, you need to go further into this. And
Mhm.
then like I remember a couple days later, I was like having a conversation with somebody, like a friend. We had like went to a friend's house for a bonfire or something, and we were just sitting around talking, and they said something, and I was like, I remember asking it, and I was like, "Why did you say that?" And it was like, I was like, "Why?" And they like went, and then it went down this whole like rabbit hole of something they had like this guy that I was talking to had been struggling with, and I remember like driving home that night, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I learned that from KCA." And it was like it was just in life.
Yeah.
So I think just the biggest thing is like listening and just being perceptive of like
Yeah.
what people are saying, and like being a better communicator, to be honest. And I've been able to do that and it's like, I'll be honest, like one thing that I struggled with in the beginning of like my relationship with my fiance was communication. Like I wasn't great at communication. So I would like miss out on things that she was like trying to tell me. And like even if it was like, her attitude, and I just wasn't perceptive. And so I think like even professionally, like it has helped me in that, and just being like more perceptive and listening to people, but also just like in my daily life, it's helped me so much. And I've seen like little instances, but yeah, I think it has helped me definitely like asking. I felt like the interview process for me was like a little frustrating because I ran into like a couple walls with like, people not getting back to me, and like I had like 2 or 3 great interviews where I was like so pumped. I was like, I have a good feeling about this. And then they like never got back to me, and they like
Uh-huh.
ghosted me. And I was like, so that was like frustrating, and I would get like frustrated, but I just like kept going. And then I finally found this job that I just got accepted to, and had a great interview with the guy. And yeah, and so
Yeah.
but
Tell
just like,
tell us a little bit about that role.
yeah, so it's a role for a company called Thrive Core Studios. Basically, what they do is they have they're based out of San Francisco, and I think they have an office in Kentucky as well. And basically, they have media, and they use a media team and AI, and they basically create courses for people who have like either niche hobbies or knowledge income, and they create like an online course for them to market and sell for whatever they're experts at. So if somebody's been in like real estate for 20 years, and they're like, I know like the real estate game really well, they can go to this company, and then the company will like create and help them build a online course for people in real estate
Mhm.
to help improve their numbers or whatever. And yeah,
Like help.
so
So it's a company that pretty much helps people turn one of their expertises into a course, and then they can
yeah,
sell it from there.
Yeah, and then they
Okay.
can use that for like passive income, stuff like that. That's the main idea, is to take, knowledge or skills that people have and create an online course so that these people can make passive income.
Yeah.
That's more or
That's like
less,
biz
yeah.
op kind of. And you got brought on as an appointment setter for them?
Yeah, I got brought on. They brought on two of us. So basically, their closers were handling everything, more or
Mhm.
less. And they brought on, they grew, and they felt like they were losing a bunch of income because there were all these, people that were inquiring that they weren't getting to until it was too late, all this stuff. And so they felt like they were losing a lot of income, a lot of money. So they hired they hired three people. They hired two setters, and then they hired or they're either hiring or they're going to hire basically like a DM setter, and somebody to basically DM set slash manage some of their social media stuff. So
What's the details of the compensation of the role?
yeah, so basically it is two K base, and then commission compensation is $50 per qualified appointment is set, and then once you set over 30, you get a $500 bonus, and then they have you get two um I believe 2% commission off of every sale that's made, and then off that sale, any income that's made up to 100 grand, you get 2%, and then everything over 100 grand, you get an extra 1%. So you
Yeah.
get 3% over
What's
100
your
grand.
like your total on target earnings with all that math? Like what are you projected to make commission wise?
Yeah, projected to average a month is about 6 to 9K. So they did basically a mock in the job offer. They did a mock earnings for the month, and it would be like 2K for 2K base, and then 2000 for if you set 30 appointments or something, it's like 2000, and then you get the 500 bonus, or maybe it was 50. If you set 50 qualified appointments, you get 2K, and then the extra 500, so that's 2500. And then if you have a sale that makes up to 100K, or if one of your sales is 30 grand, then you make like 600 off that. Basically, they added it up where if you had like two sales that made like 100 grand, then you'd get like 7,000 more or less a month.
Dude.
So it's kind of they did like a mock basically, but yeah, their on target earnings are about 6 to 9K a month, and then obviously like you can go over that if it's unlimited, like but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Unlimited on target earnings. Yeah.
yeah,
And so for people who might not be aware, like
Mhm.
100 grand might seem like a crazy number when it comes to cash collected, but in this industry, the average closer usually collects anywhere from like 100 to 200 grand a month in cash collected for these businesses that are usually doing multiple six figures a month.
Yeah.
And then setters, you're pretty much just setting the appointment for the closers. And then that way you can generate typically, like whenever I was a setter, I was generating anywhere from like 100 to $150,000 a month in cash collected whenever
Yeah.
I first started in the industry. But that's awesome, dude. So like going from working in the National Guard and then working this physical security job where you didn't have to install these systems and then upsell them to then like landing a position where you have the opportunity to make upwards of like $9,000 a month
Yeah.
remotely. What kind of impact does that have on your life as you're like looking into like you're getting married soon and like you're gonna have a wife and then down the line you're gonna have kids? And the cool thing about this industry is like you start out as an appointment setter, then eventually you can work your way up to a closer, and then you have the skill set to where if you successfully know how to set and close anywhere, you're never gonna have to worry about money anymore because you are
Yeah.
an asset for these businesses. Right.
Exactly.
So like knowing that, I mean, over the last like 60 to 90 days that you've developed this skill set to
Mhm.
now landing a role that's going to help you make between six and $9,000 a month completely from home. Like, how has that changed things for you personally?
Yeah, I think it's I'm super excited, but I think it's changed a lot of my outlook going into this like new stage of life that I'm about to enter in. And I think I'm just excited for the opportunity to be able to be around more to the past year, working in the military, I worked like over an hour away. So I was commuting, I was gone like 12 hours a day, like 4 days a week. And then I had crazy hours with a security company. So, and like we had a conversation, like me and my fiance, a couple of days ago, where it was like, we don't want like our lives to be like this, where we're
Mhm.
always missing each other. And like, I'm gone for 12 hours a day, and then I come back and I'm exhausted. And yeah, so I think I think it's hard. It has changed a lot in like my perspective, and I'm ready for the challenge. And it's hard to legitimately say how it's like actually changed because I'm starting tomorrow, so I'm not in it yet. But I think it's just gonna change like, my life a lot, being around home, being able to be home, to be able to, cook dinner at night, whatever, and just have like a more stable, home life. And that has never really been for me, at least at a very long time. And so that is legitimately how, you know, even without starting yet, I know it's going to change that will and create a stable, home environment where, you know, I feel like up to this point, everything I've been based everywhere else but home. I've spent all my time at work. I've spent all my time, driving around, the area. And now I'm gonna spend like my time's at home, and that's where my focus is. And so that is, that's where it's changed my life, and where it will continue to change my life. Where it's like I'm based at home, and that's where my focus is going to be. And then I have a unique opportunity, thanks to the help of KCA, I have a unique opportunity where that's going to be a reality, and it's going to be a reality very
Crazy.
soon.
Is it
So,
is it crazy to think about that you've been working like
yeah.
away from home for the last 7 years and now you're gonna be working from home?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I think it'll be a little bit of an adjustment. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, um, set my schedule and like work, and it's gonna be its own challenge, because if I never leave my living room, then that's a problem. But like, so it's gonna be its own challenge, and obviously I've never worked in this environment, the remote. I've never worked in the remote environment, so it's something completely new to me. So I'll have to, set my own routine to like, where I do get out of the house and like I go to the gym and stuff. And
Good problem to have though, right?
yeah, no, absolutely. Good problem to have. But it will be its own unique challenge. But I think the challenge will be, I think I would much rather have that challenge than try to juggle, insane work life as well as
Yeah.
trying to juggle that with a home life. So I think I'm very excited for that, to figure that out. Because not that's a unique and like it's a good challenge, It's
Yeah,
like
dude.
it's a good challenge. So I'll definitely have to do that and like, figure that out. But dude, I'm so excited to start this.
Yeah.
Uh
So next thing for you, like what advice would you have for people who are maybe they've been checking out KCA from a distance for a while. They're curious about like potentially getting our help. Maybe they've been watching our
yeah.
YouTube or they've been seeing our ads and they're just kind of on the fence. Maybe they're skeptical. Like what are your words to them as someone who's actually been through this program and actually landed a role, which is ultimately the end result, and like
Yeah.
actually gotten the end result that you said you wanted?
Yeah. I think my advice to somebody who's kind of on the fence would be like, hey, if you want, this life, if that is your goal, then 100%, but you got to really want it. Like you can't this program is like, uh, it's not going to do it for you. If you want this life, and KCA has proven results. So you can, if you want a life where you're making more money and you're at home more and you're remote, you want to travel, whatever it is, and you just like don't know, like KCA will give results if you put in the work. So like don't spend the money if you're half in, half out. But if you want to be in, like if you want to go all in, then I just do it, man. Do it and make the leap. It is tough. It's tough making that leap, but it's worth it. Like there's proven results. Um, I just landed a job, so it can be done. And there's a lot of other people that have done it. So if that's if you want what they offer, they can provide it. That's my legitimate advice is like if you want the lifestyle, if you want the income, if you want that, it can be given to you, but you better be in 100% because they're not going to do it for you. You got to do it yourself, but they will give you the tools and the tools work. So that's my advice.
Awesome, dude. Well, that's great. You have any ending words?
No, it's been awesome. I think I've learned a lot and I will continue to learn a lot. I think I love my favorite part about this program is that like it, they help you, you guys help us get to a place where we want to be, but you also like help us improve and stuff. And you, once you're in the community, like once you're part of the KCA community, it's like, you're part of it, and you constantly have access. You can come back and help people. You can ask for help. Like we're a community where we're there for each other, and it doesn't we don't just you guys don't just place people and then it's like, all right, see ya, like have fun. It's like, no, we're all part of the KCA
Yeah.
community, and we continue to be part of it. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
We got a really tight knit community and everybody kind of knows each other. And
yeah,
it's awesome, dude.
even
Well,
if even if
dude,
they're not
Jacobs.
like even if they're not able to attend like all the calls and stuff, I guarantee like that they're still keeping up on
Oh, yeah.
the channel and the wins and stuff. And because like once you're out there, working, like a lot of people aren't able to attend to like all the calls, but people pop back in, like Matt popped in the other day, and
Yeah. Yes, you're
like
on Monday. You
yeah,
popped in.
Monday, I think. So they pop in when they can, and I'm excited to, be part of that. I'm part of the KCA community that's now like out there doing it, and be
Yeah.
able to like come back and and like
Motivate the. Okay.
follow as I see people that like going through and like getting wins and stuff, I can like cheer them on and then pop back in and,
Yeah.
be able to talk about my experiences, be able to, encourage them when they're like, oh, when they're on their 20th role play and they're kind of bummed out and they're like, when is this gonna end? Like, oh, like you'll get there, don't worry. Like
Yeah.
so
It's a grind, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is, but no, I think that is my closing words would be, yeah, it's a great experience, and it's an experience that, pays off like in the relative immediate, but it also like will continue to pay off. So it's a good investment.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and the good thing is like now you've developed a skill set. I mean, literally all it took, I don't know exactly the amount of time that you've been in the program, but like 60 to 90 days of hard work. You just hustled it out, developed a skill set, and
Yeah,
now you have a tangible skill set that no one can take away from you. Like
exactly.
you know how to sell, you understand the psychology, and like worst case scenario, if this offer that you just landed that's giving you the 6 to 9 grand a month on target earnings, say you do it for 6 months and the company just goes for whatever reason, God forbid it happens, it comes crashing and burning into the ground. Well, guess what? Now you have a skill set that you can just bounce to a different offer and make the exact same
Exactly.
amount of money. Just like and all it took was some commitment,
Yeah.
some hard work for 60 or 90 days, and now you're equipped with the number one highest paying skill set in the new economy. It's going to pay
Mhm.
you more than engineers. It's going to pay you more than doctors.
Yeah.
Obviously not right in your first 6 months, but like as you get really good, and you learn how to close and you work your way up in sales. And the cool thing is like it allows you to open up your like all these other doors as well. Like you can down the line, if you close for like a year or two, you can eventually then go out and start your own business, and then you start to close for yourself. Then
Yeah.
you're making like 50 to 100 grand a month, which is like that's what a lot of people are doing after they've been in sales for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, literally just took 2 or 3 months, and
Yeah.
you've
And
developed a skill set that's going to provide for you for a long time.
I think it took me about
So
like 70 or 80 days, I think, total. And I was working a full-time job in the meantime. So it's definitely like
yeah,
doable. Even like that range of like 60 to 90 days. I mean, obviously we have some people that come in and they're like 2 weeks on and they're done, like
yeah,
on a offer. Like we've had that. But like legitimately, if you're like, I want to do this, but I can't like quit my full-time job. It's like it still can be done with that. Like I did it, and it took me
yeah,
about
you did it.
80 to 90 days, and I was working full time in the meantime. So, and that was from start to when I landed this offer. So yeah,
Yeah,
it can
dude.
be done, and it's great.
Awesome, man. Well, that's good. Well, you're an inspiration for a lot of people, dude. You've been a phenomenal client. And like this is an example of the typical result that most people get. Like you said, we have people that join and they get placed in a role 6 days later. They get an interview 2 days in, or they get placed in, 3 weeks. But like this is what most of our client successes look like. It's like, okay, you come in, you're working, you do it all at your own pace.
Mhm.
70, 80 days later, you get the result if you put in the work. But
Yeah,
dude, you've been a phenomenal client. I'm really excited to see how you grow in this industry. And I'm excited to be buddies long term.
absolutely,
And
man.
wish you the best of luck at your wedding, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.